right, welcome back, Lincoln, Cooley Montessori, and Soda 2. Depending on when you're watching this, this might be one of the first videos you're watching or one of the last videos you're watching. But this video in particular is going to go over arrival and dismissal. If you're looking for other information or other videos about coming back to face-to-face learning at Lincoln, those videos can be found on our school district website, or you can ask any of the adults and we can help you get connected with those too. So anyway, back to arrival and dismissal. We are going to go over a few different points and we're going to talk about what that's going to look like for everybody. There's a few key things that everyone's going to share, and then we're going to break this down into grade specific content. So we're going to talk about what's going to happen for 7th grade, 6th grade, 8th grade, and charters, because they're all going to be a little bit different, and we're going to talk about that and break that down for you so you don't have to listen to all this information over and over again that might not really pertain to you or address some of your concerns. So the big thing to know is that if you come to school before 7:30 in the morning, you will not be able to come into the building. We're going to have something called staging areas or kind of gathering areas, and those are where each grade is going to go, and then those grades are going to be further broken down by teams. And as we've talked about before, teams are kind of your class that you will be going with. So there's a couple of maps and some graphics I'm going to show, but that's the main thing, and the big takeaway is that before 7:30, you will not be able to enter the building. No students will be able to enter the building. Adult supervision will be available at these gathering locations at 7:15 in the morning. So if you come before 7:15 in the morning, there won't be that adult supervision. So please do not come to school before 7:15. And if you come between 7:15 and 7:30, you'll have to wait in these gathering areas, and they are all located outside. So if you'd like to come closer to 7:30, that might be a good option. If you come after 7:30, the big takeaway with this too is you will have to enter through the main entrance doors, and we'll go over that in each of your a little bit later in this video too. I'm going to show you a quick overview of what this all looks like. So this map shows where everyone's going to be getting dropped off and what that looks like for everybody. But like I said, we're going to go break this down by grade level and for charters, and we're going to talk about specifically what your plan is going to be right now. All right, hello 8th grade. So we're going to talk about where you need to go when you're first coming to school in the morning. If you come to school before 7:30 in the morning, you will go to what we are calling our staging areas or our gathering areas. So when you come here, 8th grade is going to be getting dropped off on 9th Street. That is the 9th Street, or that is the drop-off zone for all 8th grade students. I know it gets confusing because we got a lot of numbers, but 8th grade is getting dropped off on 9th Street. So if you're coming and getting dropped off by car, you will get dropped off on 9th Street. If you are walking to school, you will walk to 9th Street to get to your staging location area, and that's where you will go. You have to go to 9th Street. That's very important. If you're getting dropped off on the bus, you will still walk over to your staging area on 9th Street, and that is if you come to school before 7:30. If you come to school after 7:30, you will enter through the main entrance, and that will be true for everybody. So when we're talking about staging areas, these are going to be areas that are going to be blocked off with cones and different signs, and staff will be reminding you where you need to go, but you will go to these staging areas by team. So you can see team 1 and team 3 are more towards the north, towards the top end of the map, and that's where your zone will be. You guys will be waiting there and waiting until 7:30 for your teachers to come pick you up. Team 2 and team 4, you will be on the bottom part or more south end of 9th Street. So team 1 and team 3 of 8th grade are going to be entering through the front doors that are closest to the LMC. That's your entrance. That's where your first hour teachers will come down and dismiss you by team to walk one team at a time through those doors. And then you will take the staircase closest to you and go straight to your first hour class. For team 2 and team 4, you will be entering through the main entrance. And again, your first hour teacher will come at 7:30 and they will pick you up one team at a time. Both teams will not be entering through the door at a time. It gets to be too many kids and too close. So you have to come one team at a time. A really, really, really big, important fact and expectation for students is once you get on school grounds, anywhere on school property, and that includes these staging locations that you will be going to in the morning, you need to put on your mask. And remember, putting on your mask means that you have it over your nose and your mouth. If you don't have a mask, there will be adults out there that can make sure that you get your mask and have one for the school day. So very important, need to wear your mask. The other important thing, you also have to stay socially distanced in these locations. So we cannot be mixing teams especially, but we really should be staying even within those teams socially distanced. It's okay to talk, but not sitting real close and huddled together because then it gets unsafe. And we want to make sure we stay safe throughout the whole school day. Big thing with getting dropped off by the bus, even if you come after 7:30 and getting dropped off by the bus after 7:30, you still need to go around and go to either that front entrance, or if you're coming before 7:30, one of those staging locations. In the past, a lot of the times when you get dropped off by the bus, you would go in the building through the cafeteria doors. This is not a normal school year. We are not going to use the cafeteria doors this year. You have to go through the doors that are designated for you to go through. If you come after 7:30, like I said, everybody in the whole building will be coming in through the main entrance. But if you come before 7:30, these are going to be your spots. If you have questions or it doesn't make sense, please let us know. These staging and gathering locations are located on the or outside of the building. And we recognize that there are going to be times where it's going to be a little bit too cold or rainy or just not safe for students to be outside. So we do have a staging and gathering location for students on those kind of days. We call those our inclement or bad weather days. So I'm going to go over that right now. All right. So that was how you enter the building based on your grade level. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about leaving the building. And leaving the building is a lot less complicated because all we have to do is follow your teacher to the fire exit. So you don't need to know where the fire exit is. Teachers are going to know where they need to drop you off and where they're taking you. The biggest thing that's going to happen here is that you have to stay in a single file line. You have to stay socially distanced and you have to be wearing your mask. So when you're leaving the building, and if you are using a school mask, when you get to the exit, get to the door where you're about to leave the building and get off of the grounds of the building, then you will hand over your mask to the teacher so they can put it in the laundry bag and make sure that it gets taken care of. One of the big things with all of this is when you are on school property, you really need to have your mask on. Wearing your mask out in public and anywhere, whether you believe it or not, there is a lot of research that talks about it. And it's something that we're really focused on in this school. And we want to make sure that people are using it because there is a lot that suggests that it is very helpful and beneficial. And we're going to do everything we can to make sure that we can keep everybody safe. So it is very important that you're wearing your mask at all times, even when you are in the staging areas like we talked about before. So exiting the building, as you're leaving, right before you're about to leave the building, you'll hand over your mask and give it to your teacher. Then you should be on your way either to where you're getting picked up, and that would be the same as those drop-off areas that we talked about, and or getting on the bus or walking home. So whichever way you're going, you kind of need to keep moving off of school grounds and not loiter and kind of hang around in those spots because that can be unsafe too, and we don't have enough people to continue to watch and supervise to make sure that you are being socially distanced and following all the protocols that we have at school. So please do what you need to be doing. We don't want to have to come up with separate individual plans for people. So as soon as we're done with school, it is time for you to go home and or go to wherever else you need to go for the afternoon. That talks about leaving. And then we are going to talk a little bit about inclement or bad weather. All right. So we talked a little bit about entering and exiting the building and what that's going to look like. We did say that there is going to be a plan for bad weather or inclement weather. And what that's going to look like and what that means is Bad weather is when it's not safe for students to be outside. So if it's too cold or if it's really snowy and rainy out, then we are going to find a spot for students to go. So that will not be outside. And again, this is for where you will be going if it is before 7:20 in the morning. So I'm going to show you where 7th grade and 8th grade, you will be in some different, you will be in the auditorium, and you will be kind of sharing the same space, but we will have it set up where you can be socially distanced in those spaces. 8th grade will be split up between the bottom of the auditorium and the balcony. But for Team 4 and Team 3 of 8th grade, you will be meeting in the back of the auditorium, and you will have your own spots back there where you can sit and stay socially distanced. Same procedures, make sure you're wearing masks and you are staying socially distanced. The one thing I'll talk about is where you will be leaving and which doors you will be leaving. When we get to Team 4 and Team 3 of 8th grade, you will be leaving through the exits closest to you in the back of the auditorium. Then you will go up those stairs that are closest to those exits and go to your first hour classes. Teachers will come and dismiss you just like everybody else. For Team 2 and Team 1 of 8th grade, you will be going up to the balcony, and that will be your staging area on bad weather or inclement weather days. So you will go up and you will have everything kind of marked out. There are 2 different exits, one that you will use for Team 1 and one that we'll use for Team 2. You will use those exits to also enter the balcony of the auditorium, and then you will use them to exit as well. Teachers will come at 7:20 when it's time for you to exit, and you will leave those locations and go to your first hour class. That wraps up getting into school and leaving school. If you have questions, if there's something you think I've missed or you're not sure about, please ask anybody in the building and we will be able to find you the answers that you need. Remember, this isn't ideal and we know that, but the purpose of this is to keep people safe and to give everybody what they need to stay safe. So we will keep these rules in place for, we're not sure how long, but at least the foreseeable future, meaning this will be a while yet. When we are able to move away from this, we definitely will. We don't want to have to tell you guys exactly every single thing you need to be doing, and we don't want to have extra rules and expectations if we don't need to have them. But right now, it's really important that we have these for everybody to stay safe. Please continue to stay safe. Follow these rules and expectations. Feel free to look through these PowerPoints and these slides and ask questions if you have them. Be good to each other, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks.